Life's a binge. Right?
Siri's the best.
Isn't she though?
Tell her what to do, she does it.
She does it like
Sometimes she's got an attitude, like she says with a tone.
I did not understand what you said. You're like, dang it.
Yeah.
Shut up.
Or she'll say, I'm not allowed to set a time or a timer for 2:30. I could set an alarm if that's what you'd like. Binge.
Yeah.
You know that's what I mean.
She's awesome.
So.
Speaking of awesome ladies. See what I did? See what I did? Speaking of awesome
ladies. Yeah.
I just watched this movie last night, so that's why it's on my brain. And you've seen the movie.
I've seen the movie, and
recently.
I like the movie.
Yeah, I liked it too. But we're talking about Ghostbusters, 2016 version.
The girl version.
Yeah. And so I wanted to see it since I heard about it. Mm-hmm. And Samantha was very like, bleh. She's a big poo-poo on like remakes, which I totally get.
Right.
Why, mess with something that's great already. Right. And that's her aspect going into it. And so I kept on telling her, I was like, pretend like Ghostbusters doesn't exist.
Okay.
You want to cheers real quick?
Yeah, man.
Want to give a little cheersies?
Ghostbusters never happened.
That's what I tried to say. I was like, just pretend like Ghostbusters doesn't exist.
Okay.
She's like, is it a remake? And I was like, you can look at it like that, or you can just look at it like they're making Ghostbusters.
Right.
And so every time something came up that was like remake, like when they showed Ecto 1 for the first time, she's like, it's called Ecto 1. And like, it looks just like the car. And I was like, just pretend like Ghostbusters doesn't exist. Like, stop comparing the two and just try to enjoy the movie.
That is hard to do with any remake.
Right.
RoboCop this year and any remake.
Right.
You're like, well,
that's
the original.
That's not what they did in the original.
Yeah,
right.
And it's the same thing that people say, well, that's not in the book.
Right.
So it's hard to... It's beneficial as a viewer to enjoy whatever you're watching, to think of it only in this context.
And that's how I was trying to go into it. I was like, just if there's something that is like a nod or like a and see what we did.
There were plenty.
There was plenty of those, and I was like, oh, that's cool, that's great. But overall, I thought it was different enough. I liked the concept of it, where there was somebody that was like enticing the ghosts to show up. They weren't just there. It wasn't another like Zool type story,
right?
It was like this very played out kind of plot.
Yeah, it didn't follow everything exactly. It didn't give the same story, and there wasn't a Rick Moranis character. There wasn't a Sigourney Weaver character.
Nope.
There was these new characters.
It was different enough, right?
Yep.
So I thought the plot was different enough, and I liked how they explained their Jesus Christ. The ghosts are unhappy with us. Holy
You shouldn't have said
shit.
that. Yeah, that isn't keep going.
Let's just pause for 1 second.
See the light change.
It's definitely.
And there's a good crash, and we're talking about ghosts.
Yeah.
So I like that.
So the plot of the movie.
It's called Ghostbusters.
Totally different. But anyway, I really liked how they set up the science. It was different, and I liked their backstories and how they were friends and then they weren't, and she's trying to be credible and all this kind of stuff. Like the very setup, I thought was really good. But for the most part, I actually enjoyed all the ladies.
Yeah.
I thought it was the first time in a while that I've seen Kristen Wiig and Melissa McCarthy like toned down,
right?
But still very funny. But they weren't over the top. Leslie Jones also. Leslie Jones is always very over the top, like very like sassy, brassy, black lady type character. And like to see her not go to her like stereotype character that she normally plays, I was very into that.
Yeah, I enjoyed that too. All of them will have the ability to take a movie like the Melissa McCarthy movies, where all she's called upon to do is be outrageous, and she's funny at it, but sometimes it gets a little old,
right?
But she's very funny. So even when she's on Saturday Night Live, and they cater to that a ton when she's on Saturday Night Live, but she usually just owns it. She does so good with that over the top character,
and that's why there was a couple of times where they all had that moment. where they all had their like stereotypes, not the right typecast. That's what I'm thinking. Stereotype isn't the right word, but where they have their typecast moments, where Kristen Wiig does her little like under the like, oh yeah, okay, I'm just gonna be really soft, and like she's like staring at Chris Hemsworth and like, oh hey Kevin, hey. What do you want to go get lunch? Or she does that very soft-spoken, kind of shy. Like Kristen Wiig did that very well. There was a point when Melissa McCarthy was possessed, and so she got to be big and bold, and that's when Leslie Jones is like smacking her, and she's like, "The power of Patty compels you," and like those times where it was needed to use what they can do, I thought they did a very good job with it.
I enjoyed it, and I also. When I think about it, it is hard to separate from the original,
right?
Especially because they reference
so many things,
and I think is every single original Ghostbusters in there at some point.
Harold Ramis, because he passed away, but yes.
Oh, yes, there you go.
And there's no Rick Moranis, but
the Ghostbusters,
yes,
the 3 living Ghostbusters,
Dan Aykroyd and Ernie Hudson and Bill Murray all make an appearance. Sigourney Weaver makes an appearance, but it's like in the credits, and so.
What does she do in the credits now? Remind me.
She played...
Because you just saw this.
She played Kate McKinnon's mom. Or mentor, not mom. She was like her scientific mentor.
Okay.
And so there was like these little weird credit scenes, and Sigourney Weaver like comes out, and we're like, oh, okay.
And I was trying to like think about the characters in the original compared to the remake.
Right.
And like who lines up with who. Like who would be who. And...
it kind of doesn't go that way.
It doesn't. It
right.
doesn't. I think that they create enough of it because you think that the girl receptionist for them who falls in love with
the movie too. She has a cameo.
You're right.
Also. Yep.
Who falls in love with Egon.
Yep.
That Chris Hemsworth is that character.
Right.
But he's not.
Nope.
Now his character's a little.
He was the only one that I wasn't happy with.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's not complete in any way. I think that they just kind of he was a tack on. I think to the whole thing. It's like how about we make Thor there
so stupid,
like he's
so dumb. Right.
Yeah.
I'm like I didn't really.
But so good looking
right.
that they don't care and they let it all slide.
But that was like it was very funny because like so many people got outraged about that. They're like, the whole premise before the movie came out, they're like, this is sexist. If you say you don't like it, you're sexist because it's women. And then like people were like, how come Chris Hemsworth was such a stupid idiot and all they did was fawn over him? And then like the feminist movement was like, yeah, sucks, doesn't it? Well, it's like, typically you see like a ditzy secretary. It's like some hot girl with like, low-cut dress and everything. And like the guys are just like, that's my secretary. So like to see the tables turn, like I did like that.
No, I dug that.
But it was just the character-wise, I was like, eh.
Yeah, there wasn't a whole lot.
Like I felt like they could have kept that concept and had him be better.
Yeah, and at the end where he's like, hey guys, now I want to be a Ghostbuster, and it's like it was all just kind of, but it's fine. He's attractive. He's engaging on screen. Yeah. They didn't give him anything to do. Right. I mean, really, for the most part,
that was his job. Was just to show up, say a couple like one-liners, and like not know how to work a phone. Like, come on. But anyway, but it worked. It worked. I thought he was a good choice for that part that they had written.
But the star is Kate McKinnon.
She
like
is
we
very
talked
funny.
about last week. She's hilarious.
Yeah.
She's the top of the game right now, especially on Saturday Night Live. And we were talking about BJ McEvely asked who would we rather date?
Right.
Kate McKinnon
or Kristen
Wiig, and that is a tough
question. And originally I said Kate McKinnon, but then after watching Ghostbusters, it's like, oh yeah, I do love me some Kristen Wiig.
I do too, and I think that probably, maybe, God, it's hard to say. Yeah. It's hard to say.
It's a toss-up. They're both like you said, they're both
great.
Attractive. They're both hilarious in different ways too.
I think Kristen Wiig would be better for marrying.
Right.
I think that
she's in it for the long haul.
That she would be like nice to hang out with, like after her
stardom has shown.
But right now, that's the thing about. I think any comedian,
right?
They get a lot of work, they get a lot of publicity, and then you see them everywhere, and they're doing their thing. Same as like Melissa McCarthy.
Oh yeah. I'm just glad that, like I said. Oh man. Sorry, I didn't want to interrupt you.
Well, she's a little bit more crazy. Kate McKinnon is,
Right.
and so it's fun to watch.
Right.
You know, it's kind of like Robin Williams almost. You know, where they're just manic.
It's like, go for it. Have some fun.
And just do your thing, and it's hilarious.
Yeah.
And she hasn't. It hasn't grown old on me yet.
Right.
Which is nice.
I think that's just because Samantha was like, where do I know this person from? And I was like, SNL. And she's like, anything else? And I pulled up her IMDb, and there's like a couple of things that are kind of... Kate McKinnon.
Kate McKinnon?
There's like a couple of things that are kind of bigger names, but it's like where she was like a one-off type thing. So she hasn't really done anything yet. Where like Melissa McCarthy... You're like, she's going to be in the movie. You kind of have a predetermined, like, oh, great.
Then we're going to see her do her bit.
She's going to be Melissa McCarthy again.
She's going to be physical. And
Right. And they didn't, like I said, I was so happy they didn't do any of that type of stuff. So it made me happy that they actually let them act more, if that makes any sense.
Yep. Yeah. I enjoyed it. And I enjoy Leslie Jones.
Yeah.
As her time on Saturday Night Live has been a few years now, it's been fun to see. Because when she first came onto the scene in Saturday Night Live, I remember thinking, how do you use her?
Right.
She's got such a kind of a unique look. You know, she's a big woman.
And that's when she would just show up on Weekend Update and like, I'm a sassy black lady. And I was like, she's better than that. Like, and she clearly is.
Yeah.
Anyway.
She's been able to expand her performance, our ideas of her as a performer in a lot of ways over the last couple years, and which is nice to see. You know, it's nice to see. It's nice to see someone who's so dark and so big, you know, and a big woman, and she's plays
6
on
feet
that.
tall.
She plays that. She plays that up, and see her on commercials now, and see her.
No, she's great
in these movies. It's great.
And the CG in the movie I thought was going to be weird and dumb, but I actually enjoyed the majority of it. There was a couple things where I was like, eh. But like the special effects when they're using their proton packs and like the way the ghosts look, like all the ghosts look the same, whereas in the other one they were all kind of different looking, but they're all this weird kind of creepy, like green, creepy color. So I dug the special effects also. And there was cameos galore, even from like Slimer and Stay Puft Marshmallow Man.
Now, when was the last time you saw the original?
Not that long ago.
Oh, yeah? Because it's been a little while for that.
Holds up too.
I want to watch that again.
Yeah. But anyway, we could talk about this probably for a long time, but this is midweek, so it's nice and short. I was skeptical about the movie, but big thumbs up, man. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. There was...
If you can separate it.
There was... and one thing this movie had, either and against it or for it, depending on how you're looking at it, was this concentrated campaign of hatred.
Oh, yeah. The super hype of negativity.
Before it even came out.
Right.
That was super unfair for the most part.
Yeah.
Like, it was just ridiculous, this anger.
It's that whole, don't ruin my childhood. And it's like, just because somebody's making something else doesn't mean it's going to be bad.
Yeah.
If it was terrible, then it would be like, everyone would be like, told you.
But you know, you have to acknowledge
that. Like, it was great.
But you have to acknowledge also that the vitriol against it was very... gender oriented.
Oh yeah,
like
there was a big sexism thing about it.
Yeah, which has made you want to. Well, I want to watch it now, and I want it to be good.
Yeah,
and it was good.
It was very fun, very enjoyable. Yeah,
it's
solid plot, solid acting.
You guys, everybody was like, need girls playing them.
And now you could go into the debate: is it better than the original? And like that's a whole nother can of worms. And of course, it's not better because, like, of course, the original is the original. But if you take it totally separate, it's a very fun, enjoyable movie. So go out and watch the new Ghostbusters. It's just called Ghostbusters, and enjoy it.
You will enjoy it.
Try to watch it with the blinders on of just experiencing a new movie, and you will enjoy it because it's a very enjoyable film.
Agreed. Super talented cast.
Anyway, this is Life's Binge. I'm Jared.
I'm BJ.
And we'll see you on the couch.